Hello, and welcome to week 2 of the NBBL. I'm Zan, the coach of your San Diego Padres, and this week we are battling Nova Blader, who is the commissioner of the league. A very good player and became a pretty fast friend of mine, honestly. Love messaging him back and forth about things like Pokemon, but also things like WoW. So, great dude overall. I'm super excited for our battle. He's got a pretty nasty team. I will put it up on the screen real quick. We don't have to talk about it. There's just a couple of highlights. Keldeo, very intimidating Pokemon for my team. I don't have a lot of great answers for it. Obviously, I have Ogerpon, but literally the rest of his team resists grass. So Ogerpon just did not look good here. So I replaced it kind of last second. Obviously, Treads is an issue for us, but it's his only resist into a lot of our offense. So if we can clear it early, I feel like we're looking pretty good in the late game. We once again have a Raging Bolt. I feel like every week when I go to prep, I see a Raging Bolt on the other team, and I just roll my eyes because I'm so tired of playing against it. I might as well draft it at some point, so at least I don't have to go against it anymore. He's got the Lucha-Rilla combo. Very strong physical attacking combo. I don't have great answers into that either, at least defensively. I have a lot of Pokemon that can take one hit from either of them, but not a lot that want to take multiple. So if he does really well pivoting those two around or pivoting Rilla around, getting Lucha in late game, we could have issues. But I'm hoping not. I'm hoping we have enough gas in the tank to be able to deal with those in the end. And then he's got 3 TERA caps in Glastrier. He's got the Crocalor, and he's got the Meganium. I think Crocalor is the most likely versus me. I would not be surprised to see Glastrier. It's very good Pokemon, especially given TERA gets rid of that suboptimal defensive typing on a slow Pokemon, and suddenly it's a huge threat. But I think we have some good things. We will super fast go through what I'm bringing. I didn't bring a whole lot of creativity this week, but just some fun. I just threw some sets together. I thought we'd have a good time. First thing I noticed, he has no Dark type. He has no Dark TERA. That means Psychic is super spammable. I almost ran a crazy setup Grumpig set, but it would take a little too long to get going based on all the offense he has. If he offensively switched, we could not set up enough. So instead of that, we are TERA Psychic choice specs with Psychic and Psyshock, as well as Earth Power. So his only Psychic resist is the Iron Treads. Earth Power absolutely destroys it. He has other ground weaks that don't want to take an Earth Power, but otherwise it's better to just click a Psychic move. Considered Future Sight, but I'd rather just get the immediate damage, honestly. So Trick is the last move in case we get in a bad in-game situation against something like Crocalor, or if we expect something to try to set up on us, then it's a good way to shut that down. We've got the Scarf Cinderace. Nothing super special here. No Court Change or Sucker Punch. I just thought these 4 moves made the most sense because a lot of his defensive switch-ins into Cinderace don't want to take either a Gunk Shot or a Zen Headbutt, so it's pretty nice. U-turn for pivoting, and Pyro Ball is Pyro Ball. It's a great move. We've got the AV Golden Go. Nasty Plot would have been good here, but he has so many Pokemon faster than me that can just revenge me that I'd rather have the AV so I can surprise live a hit and knock out something like a Namarus, do a ton of damage to Keldeo, do a huge chunk to something that thinks it can outspeed and KO me. We've got Make It Rain, Shadow Ball, Great Stabs, Dazzling Gleam to hit things like Keldeo and the Raging Bolt, and then Power Gem to hit pretty much everything else that we don't already hit super effectively. Let's just click something on an Namarus without lowering our special attack, which is nice if it's weakened. We've got the Grafai coming back once again. I don't expect this to be a TERA Captain at all, but it can be. We've got the Normal Gem. I'm pretty excited about this one. Normal Gem Double Edge gets a KO at +2, no matter what, pretty much. Treads is the only thing that takes one, and Treads doesn't take a low kick. So if we can confirm it's not Scarf and not boost your speed, then yeah, 1 Swords Dance and we go a little crazy with this Grafai, which is pretty cool. This is probably my dedicated lead as well because we do have the Prankster Parting Shot. He doesn't have a Dark type. He can't stop it. So we lead this Parting Shot and get a better matchup, probably into Landorus, but it depends on what he leads with. We've got the AV Iron Hands coming back once again. I don't see a reason not to run AV in a lot of these matchups. It helps us immensely. We have double fighting this week. It may not be the best. I really did want Volt Switch, but my thinking is Wild Charge blows back anything that doesn't resist Electric, and we don't really care too much about the recoil damage because of how high our health is. We've got Drain Punch to get some of our health back, but if we find ourselves in at the exact same time as Iron Treads, Low Kick is a one-hit KO and Drain Punch is not. So being able to get rid of it in 1 turn is priority number 1. And we just have Ice Punch for things that resist our Wild Charge, or that we'd rather hit a little harder than with a fighting move, things like Enamorus and Rillaboom. We have that as a neutral option for them. Finally, we have Landorus, pretty physically defensive. With the helmet, switches in really nicely on things like Hawlucha and Treads. Even an Ice Spinner we can take with an Intimidate and maybe a Parting Shot. We've got Earth Power, Sludge Bomb going special this week. I really wanted Psychic on this as well because Hawlucha can kind of set up on this if he kind of figures out what our set is, but I wasn't willing to give up any of these moves. I think Sludge Bomb is really important for things like Fairy Crocolore to eventually get a poison on it and wear it down. I think Earth Power, you know, it's just stab. U-Turn is great for pivoting in things like our Grumpig, and then Stealth Rock is just really important for chipping down things that he doesn't want boots on, because Enamorus rarely wants to carry boots, Crocolore rarely wants to carry boots, most of his Pokemon don't want them, so any amount of chip we can get is good, because yeah, this team has 0 recovery, so the health we've got's the health we've got, and we've got to chip him down before he beats us. So that's the plan. Looking forward to battling him, and we'll be back with the battle in just a second. And we are back, and we found our opponent. All right, perfect timing. And here's Nova. Let's see what he brought. It looks like Meganium is here. No Crocolore. Okay, so I'm pretty happy about Sludge Bomb because I don't see a Hawlucha or a Keldeo either. So there is an Enamorus. No Keldeo. There is an Iron Treads, unfortunately. No Raging Bolt. That's a massive relief. No Hawlucha. No Crocolore. We did not bring Blastoise. We did not bring Ribombee, Ogerpon, or Hydreigon. So, he's really, really weak to fire. He has no good switch-ins for fire types. So, Cinderace is looking amazing to clean up this game, at least until he Teras. Yeah, he's got quite a few ways we can punch. He's got 3 poison weeks, which is nice. My dedicated lead is the Grafaiai just to get stats down though. And then hopefully Parting Shot into something like Landorus to get our Rocks up, because Rocks up before Glastrier Terras would be ideal. So, looks good to me. We got our Notepad up, we got our Calcs up. So, yeah, he can only Terra one of Glastrier and Meganium, so I'm a little curious as to what he decides to do with that. I'm actually not that sure what Meganium is going to do. I know it could be like Swords Dance, Trailblaze. We have answers, so I'm not super worried. I do need to pull up his Terra Captain, or like his Terra types. So he brings the Future Tusk, which is Treads as a lead. Is it Booster? It is Booster. Is it Booster Speed? It is Booster Speed. Okay. So, Treads. It's Booster Speed. So, we are Prankster. Let me just make... Okay, we are Prankster. Just making absolutely sure. I am just going to go for a Parting Shot. And it does work. He's not Clear Amulet, luckily. We do lower his attack, and if we just calc real quick, Landorus into an Iron Treads that's lead with Ice Spinner, but he is at -2. It's doing less than half, always, unless he's Adamant. But being Adamant, I don't think works with Booster Speed. Not positive, but I don't think so. So we do drop him down. He does Earthquake turn 1, so that's nice that he doesn't get rocks. I'm totally fine if he does go for an Ice Spinner here. I do just want to set my own rocks, because this is only removal, and if he spins, then he takes helmet damage, and then we can Earth Power him next turn. He does go for Ice Spinner. This never does half to us. It almost does half to us. Wow. Okay. We'll get rocks up here. And an Earth Power will KO at this point. But I could also switch to preserve this. Could go into Golden Go. That would be kind of a crazy play to block the spin, but I don't think it's worth it. I think I will just go for Earth Power because it pretty much confirmed knocks him out. He has to pick whether he wants to spin, Ice Spinner, or switch here. And getting rid of this is massive because then Grumpig is a huge problem for him. So he does decide to spin, which is totally fine. After Helmet, Earth Power should always KO. Helmet should have always KO'd after one Helmet chip, but 2, you know, that just kind of guarantees it. Yep. So we do knock him out. We don't get rocks up, and we take a little extra damage for our trouble, but it's okay. It's also better, actually, that we got rocks up there and he spun them away immediately, because then we didn't take 2 ice spinners, so we still have a half health Landorus to help us get 1 Intimidate down on the Glass, or the Rillaboom, or the Meganium if it's a physical attacker, which would be kind of wild. I think it's knockoff now, doesn't it? It does. So Golden Goat's not a free switch in. Can get rid of Treads on the damage calc. So he no longer has a switch in to any kind of rock type, steel type, poison type, psychic type moves. Has the Funky Kong, so this is very possibly banded. We don't have an Intimidate on it, so we really can't do much. If it is banded Woodhammer, then I wouldn't mind giving up hands to at least make him take a ton of recoil. Because Landorus is my switch into this, but it's currently in, so we can't really switch into it. I don't want to give up any of these guys yet, I think. I think everybody has more value than Hands or Golden Go. Golden Go actually looks really good here, given his speed tiers that are left, though, so I think Hands is our switch. And we may very well get 2 KO'd by a Woodhammer here, but he would take an obscene amount of damage himself. So let's see what he goes for. He goes for the knock, which is fine. We lose our AV, and he does 52 damage, so we can calc that. Iron Hands into Rillaboom. Choice Band with knock would do 78, so he's not banded. Without a band, that's either a min roll off of Adamant or more like a mid roll off of Jolly. So I think an Ice Punch is relatively free here, or a Drain Punch to get our health back. Drain Punch would not be great if he goes Enamorus or Slowking. Ice Punch would not be great if he goes Glastrier. This is where I wish I had Volt Switch all of a sudden. Probably U-turns. Could just go for a Wild Charge too. It hits everything except this, and I guess some Meganium. I think we'll just go for a Drain Punch, get a little health back. He just goes for high horsepower. Does a massive chunk to us. I guess I should have Ice Punch. Oh, because it was a crit. Okay. That sucked a little bit. So we'll get some health back at least. No leftovers or anything. So high horsepower from Adamant is doing 204 to 242. So this next one should not KO us. So I can just go for an Ice Punch. He does go for a Woodhammer. This will KO us. But he will take a ton of recoil. So that knocks him to about half, give or take. Well, he'll get a little bit back. Now, does Cinderace knock this out? With U-turn, it should. Unless he's like max health. So we'll just go into that. Damn, so that high horsepower crit, a little unfortunate. Woodhammer might have still knocked me out, but then he would have taken more chip, so I don't know. It doesn't matter that much. He has definitely a lot of opportunities to switch here. But he does have only 1 resist to bug at this point, which is the Enamorus. So I could see him just staying in and sacking this. So he does stay in, so this U-turn should knock him out. If it doesn't, we're going to have issues. Okay, it does. Nice, nice. And we get switch initiative here. I think our best bring-in here is the Grumpig, actually, because nothing on his team can one-shot me, and I can blow something back with a big Psychic. So we'll just go into that. We'll get our TERA up. Because, yeah, fighting TERA on Grafai is not really doing anything at this point, except breaking Glastrier, but whatever. I think Glastrier is Ice, Electric, and Fairy, and Meganium is Grass, Fire, Fairy. So he goes into the Glow King. I don't know if this is going to be AV or not. Psychic's a 2-shot with TERA if he's not AV. If he is AV, Yeah, we're doing crazy damage actually. So we'll just TERA and go straight for the Psychic. So we get to see TERA GRUMPIG, our low tier, which is really exciting. I guess I could have also went Grafai here and got a parting shot, but that's just adding extra steps. So to get the TERA Psychic, which is honestly really hype, you never really get to see this TERA. It's almost never worth running. Shouldn't KO, but we should do a crazy amount of damage here. He is AV, okay. So it's not quite a 2-hit KO. He has Trick Room. Wow, okay. Trick Room setup, maybe? Calm Mind Slack Off would be the only way he would get out of this exchange. Scot-free. I guess we could have Earth Powered there as well. Falcon showing. Oh, Psy Shock was what would have done a crazy amount of damage. Oops. It's fine. I assume we can just stay in here. I mean, we don't... I mean, Golden Go's kind of a free switch. So I do think I will bring it in, stall some turns. Because full health Grumpig just blows something back later anyway. He goes for Chilly Reception, so he's going to get the Glastrier in. So I'm actually really glad we made this switch. This awkward Glastrier with Stomping Tantrum. It gets high horsepower, right? Calc showing how Stomping Tantrum, but high horsepower would knock us out if he was banded. Oh, but he goes into the Meganium. Trick Room Meganium. I have no idea what to make of this. I have no clue what this thing wants to do. It might be knock. I mean, how else can he set up? He's got Curse. It's an option. Swords Dance, or it could be like a Leech Seed or an Encore set. I don't know. This is super weird. Could go Landorus. Landorus is really not useful here except for an Intimidate on the Glastrier. Could go Grafai, I suppose, but it actually looks really good at cleaning up the endgame. So maybe Landorus is the play, because I feel like this is our best way to deal with Slowking now that he's shown 2 moves. Yeah, I think I give up Landorus here. This might be a misplay. I'm just not sure what to expect from this guy. Worst case scenarios is like a Swords Dance Trailblaze set though. So we'll at least get Intimidate. And he goes for the TERA, so Glastrier is stuck as a Ice type, which I guess it gets a boost, but still. So it is TERA Fire. TERA Blast, okay. And this is gonna do not too much, 80-ish, so that makes me think it is physical. Yeah, that's about right for max attack with Intimidate. I don't know. I have no idea what to make of this. Earth Power is doing a good chunk though, so it's probably worth going for if we live a hit. We're okay. We have the Trick Room advantage and we do a massive amount of damage to him. He has the Bullet Seed. Is he loaded dice? Oh, that's so cool. I should have checked Trick Room turns. I think we have one more after this. But because Landorus was slower, that makes me think our other Pokemon would be slower too. So he does knock us out with Bullet Seed, which is absolutely insane set. So our Landorus was chilling at 270 speed, and Golden Go's only 207. Grumpig's only 250. So Golden Go should be able to come in here for free and get the KO. Because he's faster, because he set Trick Room, right? I'm not crazy. Otherwise, we could go back into Grumpig, but I think Golden Go's fine. It's slower than Landorus, so it should be better under Trick Room. And we will just check. Yeah, this is the last turn of Trick Room. So I will just go for Shadow Ball. It's our freest click. And he stays in, and we do get the KO. So that leaves him with an Enamorus, a Glastrier, and a Slowking. Obviously, the Slowking Glastrier is his in-game with Trick Room, and we just gave up our Intimidator. So that's not great. But it cannot TERA, So we have a lot of super effective coverage into it. So he could go Enamorous here now that Trick Room is up, thinking he might be able to KO us, but we are AV, so we would actually KO the Enamorous back. He could go Glow King, assuming he's Regenerator. He will live a Shadow Ball. He does go back into Glow King, so this makes me think he is going to go for a Trick Room into a Chilly Reception. Do I have a good way to stop that? Not really. So I think I can just go for a Shadow Ball here. Yeah, this should do about half. So he probably Trick Rooms again, and then Chilly Receptions into the horse. We do get a Spadef drop, which is pretty fortunate. He does set a Trick Room. I imagine we're going to see a Chilly Reception here. And if we look at Glastrier, our Power Gem is doing a crazy amount of damage to him. Make It Rain's one-shotting, but if he doesn't Chilly, then we're going to be -1 and going to have to deal with it. But I guess then we only have 3 turns of Trick Room to deal with. So I think I will go for Make It Rain, assuming he's going to Chilly Recept. Okay, he does Chilly Recept, so something's dead here. Either he sacks Enamorous or he sacks Glastrier. So smart play would be go Enamorous, let it go, and then Glastrier comes in on me at -1. Or he's AV and he lives 1, but it would barely live it. So he does go into the horse, I believe. Yep. And Make It Rain comes out and KOs it. Nice. Okay, this Golden Ghost set is going crazy. I guess I should have been logging kills, but I wasn't. So we are at -1 now, but I don't think there's really anything Slow King or Enamorous can do to us at this point, being AV. I did want to get a kill with Grumpig though, so I might go into Grumpig and try to take out the Glow King with Golden Go. So he goes back into it. He can take 2 Shadow Balls. I don't know what attacking move he has. I think I will just go for a Shadow Ball at -1. He's undoing his Trick Room. Yep, turning off the Trick Room. Okay. So I think I'm going to switch into Grumpig. Make kind of an aggressive switch. And if he Chillies here, it's fine. If he hits me, it's fine. But I want Golden Go at full, just because if Cinderace misses and Grafai can't KO it for whatever reason, then we want to have that backup. So he does Chilly Recept, but Enamorous should never be able to KO us. Let me just make sure Enamorous doesn't have any weird moves. Last time, Nova actually also had Enamorous in the last time we battled, and he hit me with the surprise Grass Knot that I didn't know it got. So he brings the Enamorous in. Grumpig. Psyshock should KO here, and Moonblast may not two-shot us back, so we'll just go for the Psyshock. Does Earth Power. This is not going to do much. Grumpig's naturally pretty bulky. Does get the Spadef drop, but I do think we live another one. We go for the Psyshock with our TERA Psychic Grumpig. And we one-shot the Enamorous. Nice! Now, do we one-shot the Slow King to win the game? That's the question. Dude, that Meganium set was scary. Luckily, he set Trick Room, so we were able to undercut it, but if that thing had gotten like a Trailblaze up and a Sword Stance, very easily could have swept us. So Slow King comes back in. I imagine it wants to set a Trick Room here. I'm just going to go for another Psyshock. And we'll see if we knock it out. We are lowered Spadef, so he might knock us out in return, but I kind of doubt it. Slow King's not... It doesn't seem like it has that much offensive investment. And we knock it to 1, unfortunately. And he has Ice Beam, but we're thick fat, so this should do negative damage. Yeah, and we don't get frozen. So, yeah, that's going to be GG's to our opponent. We do get a couple kills with the Grumpig this game. I was sweating over some of the sets I had brought, and I never even brought them out, really. I guess in Cinderace. But Cinderace was always just there to be a backup, so Super nice. Super clean game. Really fast game, honestly. We knocked that out in under 20 minutes. So definitely not a way I usually play. I usually like the slow and steady style. But just the way our two teams matched up, I really just wanted to punch as fast and as hard as possible. So it worked out really well. GG's to Nova. That makes us 2-0. I believe we won 4-0 right there. So we're at +9 differential. So doing all right so far. And yeah, we'll see you next week for week 3. And maybe in the meantime, some other videos will come out.